Rebels and their political allies have announced a new government in the capital Sanaa. It seems as a blow to UN-backed efforts to end nearly 2 years of war. It had been hoped that the Houthis would instead form a unity government with the internationally recognized President Abdurrahman Mansour Hadi. A day earlier, the United Nations envoy for Yemen announced a new bid for peace talks between Houthis and Hadi's exiled government. Well, for more on this, let's speak to Adam Barron. He's from the European Council on Foreign Relations, and he's joining us now from Vienna. Adam, good to speak to you. So, why have the Houthis just gone about and formed their own government?
But I think what's crucial to state here is that it's not a matter of just the Houthis forming their own government. This is the Houthis and Saleh, the former president of Yemen, and his backers forming their own government through what's called the Supreme Political Council, which was founded a month ago. So in a lot of ways, this is a statement not just about the Houthis, but about their alliance with former President Saleh, saying that despite the fact that there have been numerous reports of tensions between the two sides, which in a lot of ways aren't surprising because Saleh fought 6 wars against the Houthis about a decade ago, in what seems like, a different period of time. But this is effectively the Houthis and Saleh saying that the tensions are minimal and that their alliance is very strong. And you see that based off the fact that you have this government, which was formed after intense negotiations, and in a lot of ways is the Houthis and Saleh collectively taking this stance, despite its effects on the potential UN peace process.
Absolutely. Do they expect this to be accepted by the international community and the United Nations, or is this just a case of sort of thumbing their nose at the Saudi-led coalition?
But I think on the one hand, the question is asked, what effect does this have on the peace process? I'd respond to that by saying, what peace process? In a lot of ways, we've seen a great degree of efforts by various international diplomats, most notably outgoing Secretary of State John Kerry. But despite these efforts, we've seen both, to some extent, the Houthis, but to an even greater extent, the internationally recognized government really thumb their nose up at the UN's efforts. Effectively, in response to Kerry's plans for a potential ceasefire, despite the fact that the Houthis and Saleh did sign off on it, you had the internationally recognized government really rejecting it in very strong terms. So on the one hand, I feel like I would say this is sort of the Houthis and Saleh saying the peace process is going nowhere. This is our way of moving forward. On the other hand, I think this isn't about, trying to get international countries to recognize this government. Few, if any, international countries are going to recognize this as Yemen's legitimate government. What this is about, though, is about internal messaging. It's them saying we have the ability to run the country. Indeed, we are on the ground on the country. Whereas, obviously the Hadi government remains largely in exile. Even if Hadi is present in Aden right now, it's been announced to be only a week-long visit. So effectively, I think the message that you're seeing from the Houthis and Saleh in naming this cabinet is multi-pronged. They're saying, one, our alliance is strong, and two, they're saying we can run the country.
Okay, Adam, good to speak to you as always. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, despite winning the U.S.